Exodus says it's the first month, and the beginning of the months is going to have the Feast of Passover. And then Deuteronomy 16:1 goes on to tell you that the Passover is in Abib. When you look at the definition of Abib or the concordance entries for this word, it says it's the time of fresh, young barley ears or barley or grain or corn, but not the corn we think of today like maize.
Maize.
That was a word for grains and barleys. Month of ear forming, the greening of a growing crop corresponding to March, April, which is when we see the spring equinox occur towards the end of March. So that month would last through what we call April on the Gregorian calendar, the first month of the spring season. Interestingly enough, in that definition, you see the corn, the fresh green corn. Well, Exodus 23:15 Septuagint, instead of saying Abib, it calls it the season of the month of new corn. So lots of evidence that the year begins in spring, right?
Mm-hmm.
First month of the year is in
Definitely.
spring. Flying through this on the next one, a couple more mentions of what can help you to determine the start of the year. We don't have all the facts pinpointed, all the details of it fleshed out, but this hopefully will provide a foundation to build on to understand it better. First Enoch 71:42, it's at that period, the end of the 12th month. In the context of these chapters, it says the night becomes shortened and is 9 parts, and the night is equal with the day. The year is precisely 364 days. And so that's the end of the chapter after the 12th month. So then when you bounce back up after the end of the year is over, you're coming to the first month again. Enoch 71:8-9 says the sun goes forth in the first month by a great gate. It goes forth through the fourth of those gates, which are at the rising of the sun. We got those gates mapped out, colorized, and color coded. Fourth gate being that light green one in the middle, and that is right over the equator. And this is the time of the year, what they'll call an equinox, which is Latin for equal night. And that's going to happen when you have an equal period of day and night. And then it says immediately after that is when the sun is going through the fourth gate for 30 days. So this is why I can understand when people go to try to intercalate that they wait for the equinox to happen. Like that's the sign for the first of the year, and you can't start the first of the year before that sign. I get that,
Yeah.
and I understand why brothers like George Newber do that. I think that's probably right based on this order of events, right, listed here in Enoch. What do y'all think?
Yeah. No, I agree. It makes most logical sense to me that that's how you would determine the head of the year, waiting for the equinox to actually take place. And then,
Specifically, the equal day and equal night period, which
yeah.
there's an argument that can be made that there's the equinox versus the equilux. Equilux seems to be more specific. Others will say there's not really an equilux anywhere north, far north or far south of the equator. So lots of details and variables come up when you're looking at this discussion and different arguments, but it's fun. It can be mind numbing, but it's fun to consider all the options to
Yeah.
give you a better rounded picture of what the truth may be.
Yeah. Amen.
That's why we say the equinox or the equilux would be a sign for the start of the year because of this chapter here of equal night and equal day coming right before the first of the new year.
Yeah. That's the one for sure.
Cool. Specifically when the sun is leaving the third gate and passing into the fourth gate, because the sun proceeds to spend another 30 days of the first month in that fourth gate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
You got it,
One
brother.
more here. Thank you. Thank you. One more here, the spring equinox, just to define that for you on the next slide. Sun crosses the equator in its circuit, like I had illustrated on the last one. Day and night are approximately equal length everywhere on Earth, as they say for the equinox. And the sun crosses the horizon directly to the east at sunrise. And again, some 12 hours later, it sets directly due west at sunset. This equinox can range on the Gregorian calendar anywhere from March 19th, March 20th, or all the way to March 21st. This is one of the signs to help you determine the beginning of the year. And I hope that we get to build more on it, right? I'd love to do another episode in the future once I've come back to the topic and understand some details a little bit better. Just to kind of wrap it up and concluding thoughts on my behalf, if you are having trouble understanding this, I want to encourage you. You're not alone.
Yeah.
It has taken me several years of repeatedly coming back to the subject to wrap my brain around all these details a little bit better every time. Like with anything else, you get better with practice. And at the end of the day, if you consider yourself a follower of Jesus Christ, Yeshua of Nazareth, the high priest of covenant Israel, and you disciple after him, following after his example, walking as he walks, And part of that is observing his father's set apart feast days and appointed times. And in order to do that, there has to be a scheduled, organized calendar system to determine when each one will be. So there's lots of variations of the calendar. And I know we couldn't get to every detail of this one and all the reasons why it's more accurate than the others, but I continue to pray these presentations help you guys to have a clear picture of this calendar. I look forward to being able to build more on it in the future with y'all. And yeah, what do you guys think?